No need to adjust your screen. This is not the Down4Sound dyno channel, but man, these guys keep coming out with amps. JP33 through 83s, from 3300 watts to 8300 watts. They got amps coming out like every single day. Class AB that I did recently in a video, sold out. That's right. Y'all who sat around and waited and thought you were going to be able to get one later, they're sold out. There was only 100 of them. But today we're going to take a look at the purple JP34ab, which is currently on sale for $279. At the time you watch this video, it may not be that price, so don't shoot me, but right now it's $279. Check a link in the video description. Here's the amp, purple box, white writing. Got all the specs here on the box. They did mess up with some of the specs, and I'll talk about that when we get to that point. But yeah, let's just, the typical, take it out of the box. But first, let's see what's in there. You got a couple Allen's keys. He gave you the little bit bigger ones for the amp. The JP 3 to the 4th power AB. Read me first or not, but still read me. In other words, read the manual. And again, here are the specs listed. It is a 4-channel amplifier. It needs a 100 amp fuse. But let's take the amp out and take a closer look and see what it's all about. This purple beauty is 20 inches in length. Being a Class AB amplifier, it has to be a little longer. If you want to see the previous video, I talk a little bit about the differences between Class AB and Class D and why some people prefer Class AB. Here you can see the inputs for channels 1 and 2. The selections are across the top. And then for channels 3 and 4, again, they're vertical inputs for RCAs, but yet they're horizontal for the controls. And we're going to talk about what the controls do here. I'll talk about across the top first, the gain control from 0.2 up to 6 volts. Then you have high pass filter 20 hertz up to 800 hertz, but also the time 10 factor, which makes it 200 hertz to 8 kilohertz. Then you can select whether the high pass is off or on. You can also use this as a subsonic filter if you'd like to. And for the low pass section, 50 hertz to 800 hertz, or you can do the times 10, 500 hertz to 8 kilohertz. Again, off or on for channels 1, 2, 3, or 4. On the opposite side, we have the connections for the power input as well as for the speaker outputs. For power and ground, 4 gauge. We have a remote which accepts around 8 gauge. The power protecting clip lights as well. And the speaker here, channel 1 you can see there, channel 2, so they're the cross channels 3 and 4. What you need to do is hook up channel 3 and 4 first because it's hard to get to them if you hook up channels 1 and 2 first. The purple anodized finish as well as the heatsink design is a throwback to the 90s US amps. Use the US amps engineer to help with the design here, so that's a really cool look on the amp. As far as dimensions go, for the length 19.7 inches, the width 7.4 inches, and the height 2.2 inches. Millimeter equivalents are there as well. Ratings for 4-channel, it's 134 by 4 at 4 ohms, 200 by 4 at 2 ohms, or bridge, it says 500 by 2, but that is corrected. It's 400 by 2. JP34ab, let's do the startup sound. All right, wasting no time, let's get this hooked up, connected to the amplifier dyno. What we're going to do first is we're going to do the 4-channel mode, and we're going to have all the channels connected to resistors, but we're only going to see the ones I mentioned here. If you haven't seen the dyno test before, on the left is the power output, the middle is the ohm load, the right is the voltage of the dyno at the time of the test, and at the top we also have a clamp meter. We'll show you efficiency. 4-channel tests are done at 1 kilohertz because we're assuming that you're going to be running mids and highs. 4 ohm stereo is rated 134 watts by 4 at 14.4. So let's see what we get. Certified test takes us to 1% total harmonic distortion and right around 150 watts by 4 at 14.36 volts. Now we'll reset the settings on the dyno, go to the uncertified test, which takes us up to the clipping point of the amplifier, which could be very similar, it could be a little more. It's right about the same, 150 watts per channel, 14.34 volts. Let's try the dynamic test. Again, these are 1 kilohertz tests since we're doing the 4-channel mode. And this is simulating the IHF 202 standard here using 14.4 volts as well as 1 kilohertz burst, 163 watts per channel times 4. Efficiency wise, about 68.4%. Again, that's 2 channels measured, all channels loaded. Next up, we will try the 2 ohm run in the 4-channel mode. It's rated 200 watts by 4. Certified test is always up first, 1% THD. And there you go, 233 by 4, so easily beat the 200 watt per channel rating. That's nice. It's good to have, you know, what the amp is rated plus a little bit more. Hey, never hurts to get a little extra, right? Uncertified up to clipping, 236, 230, so right around 233 watts times 4. We're a little bit under 14.4. You'll notice I tried to do that for you guys who didn't want the high voltage. Dynamic, sending the 1 kilohertz pulse track. Good to see a little bit more power here. This means that the amp does have some headroom, and that will become apparent when I play it back, listen to music. Efficiency-wise, Class AB amps are not very efficient, but this one's pretty good, 61.5% for Class AB. That is not bad at all. Bridge mono, 4 ohms. We're going to do these tests at 40 hertz because we're going to assume if you're going to bridge it, that you're probably going to run it to subwoofers. I don't know, maybe or maybe not, but let's try it. The rating says 500 by 2. We got 448 and 441. Now, the way the ratings typically work is if you have 200 watts by 4 rating at 2 ohms, you should have 400 by 2 at 4 ohms bridge. So I asked Down4Sound about this, and they said the ratings were incorrect. It should be 400 by 2. So here you can see we got close to 500 by 2 uncertified. It was like 487 by 2. And dynamically, we get right at that 500 watt rating, a little bit over actually. It keeps counting up. 543, 525 at 14.6. Efficiency wise, 56.4%. The 40 hertz does hurt that efficiency a little bit. Results are shown here. I pretty much just showed you all the different tests. You're welcome to pause this if you want to see this up close. This is the 4 ohms and 2 ohms 4-channel test. And then the bridge test at 4 ohms. I didn't run it any lower because this amp is not rated for 1 ohm per channel. So it's rated at 2 ohms per channel or 4 ohms bridged. Now on to the useless SQ demo. Nice headphones or nice speakers. Listen to it. Here we have the JP34ab powered up. I don't know if you can hear the fan, but it's running. Have it hooked up to the bookshelf speaker, so we're going to try it out with a little sound quality. Let's try it out. Let's feel the Smoke Jacket Blues. You've heard this one before as my intro song, Amazer Laser. Now we have the quad box wired up on the rear channels, and we have the ELAC bookshelf speakers wired up on the front channels. Let's try it out. I know it's nowhere near Halloween. It may be when you're watching this video. But this is such a cool song. Bassotronics made a Big Wizzy bass of Halloween. Check this out. Also demoed several other songs that I can't play on YouTube, which sounded really good. Now let's look at what's inside. We'll flip the amp over. Of course, it does have the plexi bottom, but we're going to take it off so we can get a closer look to see what's inside the amp. Let's take off the 8 screws. We'll disconnect the fan that's on the bottom plexiglass panel. And here it is. Power supply section on the right, outputs there, kind of in the middle, and then on the far left is your inputs as far as your crossovers and stuff. 35 volt, 2200 microfarad for the power supply. The rail caps are here, and these are all 105 degrees Celsius. 2200 microfarad, 50 volts on these. Class AB isn't dead. That's right. It is here to stay. Now let's talk those pros and cons of the JP34ab. First off, let's talk about the good stuff. Old school looks. Looks like a US amps from the 90s. Class AB for sound quality freaks. Tiffany, baby. Got Tiffany RCAs, crossover flexibility. You have a low pass, high pass, band pass. You can even pass me some money if you want. Acrylic bottom, single amp solution for those who are old school, want to use it in 3-channel mode, and the value cannot be overlooked. It's amazing. Now, as far as the things considered, no 2-channel input option. You do have to use all 4 RCAs. It has no RCA outputs, no remote bass connection. It's inefficient, but again, it is Class AB, so that's expected. Which way do you mount it? Do you show the purple? Do you show the guts? It is larger than Class D. There is a rating typo in the manual. It's not 500 by 2. It's 400 by 2. One of my Facebook friends, Jeff, has got this really cool old school S10 mini pickup truck that he's built. You can see here it's got the gold wire wheels. It's got the dancing bed lower down. But he's also a old school amp collector. He's been around for over 30 years in the car audio scene. He recently picked up this JP34ab, and he wrote a review after he used it for a little while. And I'm going to read this one part to you. The stereo separation is sharp and honest, and the sound quality is very high. My subs digs deep and has strength. Highs are sparkling and clean. The frequency range of this amplifier paired with the versatile crossover makes it nice and flexible for many applications. I listened to it all weekend at Slamology and easily have 12 hours listening time, and let me tell you, it sounds fantastic. This is a great review from a complete third party who has no interest in this. He has no affiliation with Down4Sound, no links, none of that stuff that I use. Even though I tell you guys, I tell you what I think, I show you the results, I let you decide on what you want to select, but I get really excited when I come across something really interesting like this amp. I think a lot of the old school guys would like to use something like this as a 3-channel amp, and then you could not have to upgrade your electrical, and it gives you a nice amount of power on your sub channel and doesn't take up your whole trunk. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Till next time, Big D, I'm out of here. A little bit of luck witch. Crank it up. Yeah, how them sound waves go. Tried to lose my phone.